Have you ever stood in a place where an empire once shaped the destiny of an entire nation? A place where every brick, every temple, and every forgotten pathway still whispers the story of one of Southeast Asia's greatest civilizations. Welcome to Mojokerto, a city in East Java that many people know by name, yet very few truly understand. This is not just another Indonesian city. This is the heartland of Majapahit, the birthplace of an empire whose influence stretched across much of the Indonesian archipelago and beyond, leaving behind a legacy that still inspires the nation today. If you think Mojokerto is only about ancient ruins, prepare to discover a place where history, culture, archaeology, craftsmanship, cuisine, and breathtaking landscapes come together in one unforgettable destination. Because Mojokerto is more than a city, it is a journey through time. It is where Indonesia remembers who it once was. At the center of Mojokerto lies Trowulan, widely recognized as the most significant archaeological site associated with the Majapahit kingdom. Centuries ago, this area served as the royal capital of one of the most powerful empires in Southeast Asian history. Today, it remains one of Indonesia's most valuable historical landscapes. Walking through Trowulan feels like stepping into another era. Towering above the landscape stands Bajang Ratu Temple, an elegant red brick gateway believed to commemorate a Majapahit king. Nearby, Candi Tikus reveals an extraordinary ancient bathing complex whose sophisticated design demonstrates the remarkable engineering abilities of the Majapahit people. Every structure tells a story of innovation, power, spirituality, and artistic excellence. The journey continues inside the Trowulan Museum. Thousands of archaeological discoveries are preserved here, including pottery, statues, inscriptions, ceramics, coins, and everyday objects that provide an extraordinary glimpse into life during the Majapahit era. Each artifact reminds visitors that Indonesia's history is not merely written in books, it still exists beneath the soil of Mojokerto. For students, historians, researchers, and travelers alike, Mojokerto offers one of the richest educational experiences anywhere in Indonesia. Yet Mojokerto's story reaches even further back than the rise of kingdoms. Long before Majapahit flourished, this land had already become home to some of humanity's earliest ancestors. In 1936, archaeologists discovered the fossilized skull of Homo Erectus mojokertensis in this region. The discovery became one of the most important paleoanthropological findings in Indonesia. It provided valuable evidence that ancient humans once inhabited this landscape hundreds of thousands of years ago and contributed significantly to global research on human evolution. This remarkable discovery transformed Mojokerto into more than a historical destination. It became an important chapter in the story of humanity itself. Few places in the world can claim to preserve both the legacy of an ancient empire and the traces of prehistoric human life within the same region. That rare combination makes Mojokerto truly extraordinary. History may define Mojokerto, but its flavors capture the hearts of everyone who visits. Ask Indonesians what food Mojokerto is famous for, and one answer rises above the rest: onde-onde. These perfectly round sesame-coated rice cakes filled with sweet mung bean paste have become the city's most iconic culinary souvenir. Freshly made, with a crispy golden exterior and a soft, fragrant filling, they represent generations of culinary tradition passed from one family to another. But Mojokerto's cuisine does not stop there. For lovers of bold flavors, sambal weda offers an unforgettable experience. Small freshwater fish are cooked until crispy, then combined with fiery chili sambal that delivers an explosion of spicy, savory taste. Simple ingredients become extraordinary through recipes preserved by local communities for decades. Every meal in Mojokerto becomes another way to experience its cultural identity. Beyond history and cuisine, Mojokerto also thrives through creativity and craftsmanship. The city has earned recognition as one of Indonesia's important centers for high-quality shoe production. Many locally produced shoes meet international export standards and demonstrate the skill of Mojokerto's artisans. Their dedication proves that traditional craftsmanship continues to compete successfully in the global marketplace. Another remarkable destination is Bajang village. Here, skilled craftsmen transform brass into magnificent statues inspired by the heritage of Majapahit. These detailed works of art are exported to international markets and admired by collectors around the world. Each sculpture reflects patience, precision, and centuries of artistic tradition that continue to thrive today. Visitors searching for meaningful souvenirs often leave Mojokerto carrying not only delicious food, but also handcrafted works of art that represent Indonesia's cultural excellence. Nature lovers will also discover an entirely different side of Mojokerto. Beyond ancient temples and archaeological treasures lies a landscape filled with cool mountain air, lush forests, waterfalls, and panoramic hills. The highland regions of Trawas and Pacet have become favorite destinations for families, hikers, campers, and adventure seekers. Bukit Watu Jengga rewards climbers with spectacular sunrise views overlooking rolling mountains and green valleys. Air Terjun Lundung offers refreshing waterfalls surrounded by peaceful forests where visitors can reconnect with nature. Meanwhile, Ranu Manduro surprises travelers with vast, open landscapes that resemble scenes from another world, making it one of East Java's most photographed natural attractions. Whether you enjoy trekking, camping, photography, or simply escaping busy city life, Mojokerto offers unforgettable outdoor experiences throughout the year. Perhaps what makes Mojokerto truly remarkable is not only its monuments or natural beauty, it is the spirit that continues to unite its people with their history. The city proudly embraces the identity known as the spirit of Majapahit. This philosophy is reflected through cultural festivals, traditional performances, local batik, historical preservation, educational programs, and architectural designs inspired by the greatness of Majapahit. Rather than allowing history to fade into memory, Mojokerto keeps it alive in everyday life. Children grow up surrounded by stories of their ancestors. Artists continue ancient traditions. Communities celebrate festivals that honor one of Indonesia's greatest civilizations. The past is not forgotten, it becomes part of the future. That is what makes Mojokerto different. It is not simply protecting history, it is living history. In an age where many destinations compete to build artificial attractions, Mojokerto possesses something far more valuable: authenticity. Its temples are real. Its archaeological discoveries changed scientific understanding. Its culinary traditions remain deeply rooted in local families. Its craftsmen continue centuries of artistic excellence. Its mountains, waterfalls, and forests remain breathtaking reminders of Indonesia's natural beauty. Every corner tells a story. Every journey reveals another layer of the past. Every visitor leaves with a deeper appreciation for Indonesia's extraordinary heritage. So, before planning your next adventure, ask yourself one question. Why travel across the world searching for legendary civilizations when one of Southeast Asia's greatest empires is waiting to be explored right here in Indonesia? Come to Mojokerto. Walk through the ancient gates of Majapahit. Taste traditions that have survived generations. Discover the fossils that reshaped our understanding of early humanity. Meet artisans whose craftsmanship reaches international markets. Stand among mountains where history and nature exist side by side. Because Mojokerto is not simply a destination, it is the place where Indonesia's past still breathes. It is where history becomes an experience. It is where every traveler discovers that the greatest stories are not hidden inside museums alone. They are written across the land itself. And once you experience Mojokerto, you will understand why this remarkable city deserves to be celebrated as one of Indonesia's most extraordinary historical, cultural, and natural destinations. The more you explore Mojokerto, the more one truth becomes impossible to ignore. This city was never built around a single attraction. It was built around civilization itself. Long before modern highways connected East Java, long before Indonesia became an independent nation, Mojokerto stood at the crossroads of politics, trade, religion, engineering, and culture. This was where ideas traveled, where diplomacy shaped kingdoms, where artisans transformed ordinary clay into masterpieces, where architects created monuments that have survived centuries. The story of Mojokerto is, in many ways, the story of Indonesia's rise. Look closely at the red brick structures scattered across Trowulan. They may appear weathered by time, but they represent one of the most sophisticated construction traditions in Southeast Asia. Without modern machinery, ancient builders produced remarkable architecture using precision, symmetry, and advanced knowledge of materials. Many of these structures have endured earthquakes, tropical climates, and the passing of hundreds of years. Their survival is not an accident. It is a testament to extraordinary craftsmanship. Archaeologists continue to study the area because many sections of the ancient capital remain buried beneath farmland and modern settlements. Every excavation has the potential to reveal another piece of Majapahit's remarkable story. Even today, new discoveries continue to reshape historians' understanding of one of Asia's greatest kingdoms. Imagine living in a city where history is still emerging from the ground, where every archaeological excavation could uncover artifacts untouched for centuries. Few destinations anywhere in the world offer such a living connection between the past and the present. But Mojokerto teaches another important lesson. Great civilizations are remembered not only because of military power, they are remembered because they leave behind knowledge, culture, and inspiration. Majapahit became famous for administration, diplomacy, maritime trade, literature, architecture, agriculture, and artistic achievement. Its influence reached islands separated by thousands of kilometers. Its legacy inspired generations long after the kingdom itself disappeared. That legacy continues to shape Indonesia today. Many of the values associated with unity across the archipelago draw inspiration from this remarkable period of history. Visiting Mojokerto is therefore not simply a holiday, it is an opportunity to understand how one civilization helped shape the identity of an entire nation. Yet despite carrying such an extraordinary legacy, Mojokerto remains refreshingly welcoming. Unlike many crowded tourist destinations, visitors can experience historical sites in a more peaceful atmosphere. You can spend hours exploring ancient temples, museums, traditional villages, local markets, and mountain landscapes without feeling rushed. Every conversation with local residents adds another layer to the experience. Their stories preserve traditions that cannot be found in textbooks. Their hospitality transforms sightseeing into genuine cultural exchange. Travelers searching for authentic Indonesia often discover that Mojokerto offers something increasingly rare, a destination where heritage is not performed for visitors, it is simply part of everyday life. Morning begins with local markets preparing traditional food. Artisans patiently continue crafts inherited from previous generations. Children learn stories about Majapahit in school, while growing up surrounded by the very landscape where history unfolded. Life and history exist together. That harmony creates an atmosphere unlike anywhere else. And then there is the landscape. As the sun rises over the hills surrounding Trawas and Pacet, mist slowly drifts across forests and valleys. Mountain air replaces the heat of the lowlands. Birdsong echoes through towering trees. Waterfalls carve their way through volcanic rock. Every viewpoint reminds visitors that East Java is not only rich in history, it is blessed with extraordinary natural beauty. For photographers, every sunrise becomes a masterpiece. For hikers, every trail offers new perspectives. For families, every weekend becomes an opportunity to reconnect with nature. For international travelers, Mojokerto reveals an Indonesia far beyond the familiar destinations that dominate travel brochures. Perhaps that is Mojokerto's greatest strength. It surprises people. Visitors arrive expecting temples. They leave inspired by archaeology, cuisine, craftsmanship, mountains, culture, science, and human history. Few places can tell so many stories within such a compact region. One journey can take you from prehistoric discoveries to imperial capitals, from traditional villages to panoramic mountain peaks, from ancient museums to modern creative industries. Every experience adds another chapter. Every destination answers one question while raising another. What other secrets remain hidden beneath this remarkable land? History reminds us that civilizations rise and fall, buildings crumble, empires disappear, generations pass, but ideas endure, culture survives. Memory lives on through people who choose to preserve it. That is exactly what Mojokerto has done. Instead of allowing its extraordinary heritage to disappear beneath the weight of time, the city continues protecting archaeological sites, celebrating cultural festivals, supporting local artisans, preserving traditional cuisine, and sharing its remarkable story with new generations. This is not only about protecting the past, it is about inspiring the future. Because every child who walks through Trowulan learns that Indonesia's history is filled with innovation, creativity, resilience, and ambition. Every visitor who tastes authentic onde-onde supports families preserving recipes that have survived generations. Every traveler who purchases local handicrafts helps ensure ancient artistic traditions continue to thrive. Every photograph shared with the world introduces another person to a city that deserves far greater international recognition. Mojokerto does not ask for attention. Its history earns it. Its culture deserves it. Its people sustain it. Its future depends on those willing to appreciate and protect it. So if you truly want to understand Indonesia, do not stop at the famous skylines or crowded beaches. Go deeper. Walk where kings once ruled. Stand where ancient humans once lived. Taste recipes that have survived centuries. Listen to stories that continue to shape a nation. Because some places entertain you, some places educate you, but only a few places change the way you see history forever. Mojokerto is one of those places, and once you experience its extraordinary legacy, you will realize that the greatest treasure of this city is not hidden inside its temples, museums, mountains, or villages. It is the timeless reminder that civilizations may fade, but their spirit can inspire the world forever. And perhaps that is the most powerful lesson Mojokerto has to offer. Progress does not have to erase history. Modern development does not have to replace tradition. A city can move confidently toward the future while keeping one hand firmly connected to its past. Mojokerto proves that both can exist together. As new businesses grow, as infrastructure expands, and as tourism continues to develop, the echoes of Majapahit remain woven into the city's identity. Ancient temples still stand with quiet dignity. Traditional artisans continue shaping brass by hand. Local families still prepare recipes that have been passed down through generations. Cultural performances continue to tell stories that began hundreds of years ago. The past is not treated as a museum exhibit. It is part of everyday life. That is why Mojokerto feels authentic. Nothing here needs to be invented. Its greatness already exists. You only need to slow down long enough to see it. Imagine beginning your morning beneath the towering gateway of Bajang Ratu. The red bricks glow under the first light of the sun. The silence is broken only by birds and the gentle breeze moving through ancient trees. For a brief moment, it becomes easy to imagine royal processions once passing through these very gates. Merchants arriving from distant islands, scholars exchanging knowledge, artists creating works that would outlive generations. Then imagine spending the afternoon inside the Trowulan Museum. You stand before centuries-old statues, inscriptions, and pottery. Objects that once belonged to ordinary people. Objects touched by hands long before the modern world existed. Each artifact reminds us that history is not only about kings and battles. It is also about families, farmers, craftsmen, children, communities that built a civilization together. History becomes deeply human. As evening approaches, the journey continues into Mojokerto's culinary scene. Freshly made onde-onde emerges from the kitchen, its golden sesame crust perfectly crisp. The aroma fills the air. Nearby, local restaurants serve traditional dishes that reflect East Java's bold and unforgettable flavors. Food becomes more than a meal. It becomes another chapter of the city's identity. The next morning, the adventure shifts once again. Cool mountain air welcomes visitors to Trawas and Pacet. Clouds drift across forested hills. Waterfalls pour endlessly over volcanic rock. Families laugh together at campsites. Hikers reach panoramic viewpoints where endless green landscapes stretch toward the horizon. It becomes almost impossible to believe that all of these experiences exist within a single destination. Ancient civilization, prehistoric archaeology, traditional craftsmanship, mountain adventures, rich culinary heritage, living culture. Very few places in Southeast Asia offer such extraordinary diversity. This is why Mojokerto deserves far greater recognition, not only within Indonesia, but across the world. International travelers searching for authentic cultural experiences often overlook destinations like this. They chase famous landmarks while missing places that tell even deeper stories. Yet those who choose Mojokerto discover something increasingly rare, a destination that has never forgotten who it is. In a rapidly changing world, authenticity has become one of the greatest luxuries. Mojokerto still possesses it. Every ancient brick reflects centuries of resilience. Every handcrafted sculpture reflects remarkable dedication. Every local festival reflects pride in cultural identity. Every smile from the people reflects genuine hospitality. These are experiences that cannot be manufactured. They must be lived. They must be felt. Perhaps one day, millions of international visitors will recognize Mojokerto as one of Asia's greatest historical destinations. Perhaps more archaeological discoveries will emerge from beneath the soil. Perhaps future generations will continue protecting this priceless heritage with even greater determination. The opportunity is already here. The story is already waiting. All that remains is for more people to listen, because history only survives when people choose to remember it. Culture only survives when communities continue celebrating it. Heritage only survives when every generation understands its value. That responsibility belongs to all of us. Whether you are a traveler, a student, a historian, a photographer, or simply someone who loves discovering extraordinary places, Mojokerto offers something that cannot be measured by ticket prices or travel itineraries: perspective. It reminds us that greatness is built over generations, that civilizations leave behind lessons as valuable as their monuments, that identity is strengthened by remembering where we came from, and that the future becomes stronger when it is built upon the wisdom of the past. So the next time someone asks you where the spirit of Majapahit still lives, you will know the answer. It lives in the ancient temples rising from the plains of Trowulan. It lives in the museum that protects thousands of priceless artifacts. It lives in the hands of artisans, shaping brass into timeless works of art. It lives in the warm kitchens where traditional recipes continue to delight every visitor. It lives in the misty mountains of Trawas and Pacet. It lives in every festival, every performance, every story shared from one generation to the next. Most importantly, it lives in the hearts of the people of Mojokerto, because kingdoms may disappear, empires may fall, generations may come and go, but the spirit of a civilization never truly dies when its people continue to honor it. That is the true story of Mojokerto, not simply the home of Majapahit, but one of Indonesia's greatest living legacies. A city where history still breathes, a city where culture still thrives, a city where every journey becomes a lesson, and a city that reminds the world that the strongest foundations are not built from stone alone. They are built from memory, heritage, resilience, and the courage to preserve them for generations yet to come. This is Mojokerto, the cradle of greatness, the guardian of Majapahit's legacy, and one of Indonesia's most extraordinary destinations waiting for the world to discover. But there is one final reason why Mojokerto deserves your attention. It is not found inside a museum. It is not carved into an ancient temple. It is not hidden beneath layers of archaeological soil. It is found in a single realization. The story of Mojokerto is not only about the past, it is about us. Every generation faces the same question. Will we allow our history to disappear, or will we protect it so that those who come after us understand where they came from? Mojokerto answers that question every single day, by preserving archaeological sites, by restoring ancient structures, by supporting local craftsmen, by celebrating cultural festivals, by teaching children about Majapahit, by ensuring that history remains alive, not only inside classrooms, but within the community itself. That commitment transforms Mojokerto from a historical destination into something much greater. It becomes a symbol of cultural resilience, a reminder that identity cannot be bought. It must be protected, it must be respected, and it must be passed from one generation to the next. As the world grows increasingly connected, many cities begin to look the same. Glass towers replace traditional neighborhoods. Global brands replace local businesses. Ancient traditions quietly fade into memory. Yet Mojokerto offers a different vision, a city where progress walks beside heritage, where innovation respects tradition, where the future grows stronger because the past has not been forgotten. That balance is rare. It is also incredibly valuable, because when visitors leave Mojokerto, they carry home far more than photographs. They carry perspective. They begin to understand that history is not a collection of dates. It is the story of real people, people who dreamed, who built, who struggled, who created, who believed that their work would matter long after they were gone. Standing among the remains of Majapahit it becomes impossible not to think about time. Hundreds of years ago, these streets were filled with life. Royal ceremonies, bustling marketplaces, diplomatic missions, craftsmen shaping clay and metal, children running through neighborhoods that no longer exist. Life continued here just as it does today. The people could never have imagined that centuries later, visitors from around the world would come searching for traces of their civilization. That is the power of legacy. We rarely know which moments will outlive us, but everything we create has the potential to shape the future. Perhaps that is why Mojokerto feels so inspiring. It reminds us that greatness is never built overnight. Majapahit did not become one of Southeast Asia's most influential empires in a single year. Its achievements were the result of vision, leadership, knowledge, perseverance, and generations of people working towards something larger than themselves. Those same principles remain relevant today. Whether you are building a career, growing a business, creating art, teaching others, raising a family, or pursuing your dreams, the greatest achievements are built one step at a time, brick by brick, lesson by lesson, generation by generation. Mojokerto quietly teaches this wisdom without ever needing to say a word. Its temples speak through silence. Its museums speak through artifacts. Its mountains speak through timeless beauty. Its people speak through the way they continue preserving traditions that define who they are. That is why this city deserves to be explored with curiosity instead of haste. Slow down. Walk through Trowulan without checking the time. Listen carefully inside the museum. Taste the food prepared from recipes that have survived generations. Watch local artisans transform simple materials into extraordinary works of art. Stand at the summit of Watu Jenga as sunrise paints the horizon. Feel the cool breeze of Pacet. Hear the rushing waters of Dlundung waterfall. Look across the vast landscape of Ranu Manduro. In those moments, Mojokerto becomes more than a destination. It becomes an experience that stays with you long after the journey ends. And maybe, just maybe, that is the true purpose of travel. Not simply to collect passport stamps, not simply to take beautiful photographs, but to return home seeing the world differently. To discover places that challenge what we thought we knew. To realize that some of humanity's greatest stories are not always found in the most famous destinations. Sometimes they are waiting quietly, hidden in places that the world has yet to fully appreciate. Mojokerto is one of those places, a city where prehistoric discoveries meet imperial history, where ancient architecture stands beside vibrant local communities, where traditional cuisine delights every generation, where mountains, waterfalls, and forests complete a landscape shaped by both nature and civilization. There are countless places you can visit, countless cities you can explore, countless landmarks you can photograph, but only a handful of destinations can make you feel connected to thousands of years of human history in a single journey. Mojokerto is one of them. So when the opportunity comes, do not simply read about Majapahit, walk where it once stood. Do not simply admire history from a distance, experience it. Do not simply hear stories about Indonesia's past, stand in the places where those stories began. Because every civilization leaves behind monuments. Only the greatest leave behind inspiration. Mojokerto has done both, and as long as its temples stand, its traditions endure, and its people continue protecting this extraordinary heritage, the spirit of Majapahit will never truly fade. It will continue inspiring Indonesia. it will continue inspiring Southeast Asia, and it will continue reminding the world that the strongest civilizations are remembered not because of the power they once possessed, but because of the legacy they chose to leave behind. This is Mojokerto, the land where history still breathes, the city where the past still shapes the future, the timeless heart of Majapahit, and one of the greatest cultural treasures Indonesia proudly shares with the world. And now, before this journey comes to an end, there is one final chapter that deserves to be told. Not about kings, not about temples, not about ancient fossils, but about why Mojokerto matters more today than ever before. We live in an age of constant change. Technology evolves faster than ever. Cities expand, cultures blend. Information travels across continents in seconds. Yet, in the middle of this rapidly changing world, places like Mojokerto remind us that true progress is impossible without understanding our roots. Because a nation that forgets its history risks losing its identity. Mojokerto stands as one of Indonesia's greatest classrooms, not built with walls and blackboards alone, but with temples, museums, landscapes, traditions, and living communities. Every visitor becomes a student. Every monument becomes a lesson. Every artifact becomes a page in a history book written not with ink, but with stone, clay, and time itself. This is where young Indonesians can discover that their ancestors were capable of building one of the most influential civilizations in Southeast Asia. This is where international visitors realize that Indonesia's story extends far beyond tropical beaches and volcanic islands. It is a story of innovation, diplomacy, architecture, art, trade, science, faith, and extraordinary human achievement. The greatness of Majapahit did not emerge by chance. It was built through knowledge, through cooperation, through vision, through the determination of countless individuals who believed that their civilization could accomplish something remarkable. Those values remain timeless. They continue inspiring entrepreneurs who dream of building businesses, teachers who shape future generations, artists who preserve cultural traditions, scientists who search for new discoveries, young people determined to create a better future. The lessons of Mojokerto belong to everyone, because history is not about living in the past. History is about learning how to build a stronger future. That is exactly what Mojokerto offers, not nostalgia, perspective. As tourism continues growing across Indonesia, Mojokerto has an extraordinary opportunity. It can become one of the world's leading destinations for cultural and historical tourism. Imagine students from every continent visiting Trowulan to study one of Southeast Asia's greatest empires. Imagine archaeologists continuing to uncover discoveries that deepen humanity's understanding of ancient civilizations. Imagine travelers choosing Mojokerto not only for sightseeing, but for meaningful experiences that connect them with thousands of years of history. The potential is enormous. The foundation already exists. The story only needs to be shared with the world. And perhaps that is why you are watching this today, because every shared story has the power to inspire another journey. Every conversation introduces someone to a place they never knew existed. Every recommendation helps preserve a culture that deserves to be celebrated. Tourism is more than travel. When done responsibly, it supports local communities. It protects cultural heritage. It creates opportunities for artisans, guides, restaurants, museums, and family businesses. Every visitor becomes part of that story. Every journey contributes to the preservation of something far greater than a vacation destination. It helps protect a legacy. So if you ever find yourself standing beneath the ancient gateway of Bajang Ratu, if you ever gaze across the peaceful fields of Trowulan, if you ever hold a freshly made onde-onde in your hands, if you ever hear the sound of rushing water in Pacet, or watch the sunrise from the hills surrounding Trawas. Take a moment to be still. Look around. Remember where you are, because very few places on Earth allow you to stand where prehistoric humans once lived, where one of Southeast Asia's greatest empires once flourished, where centuries of craftsmanship still survive, and where nature continues to embrace history with remarkable beauty. That combination is exceptionally rare. It cannot be recreated. It cannot be copied. It can only be experienced. Mojokerto is more than a destination on a map. It is a bridge connecting ancient civilizations with modern Indonesia. It is a reminder that the strongest nations are built not only by economic growth, but by preserving the stories that define who they are. History gave Mojokerto an extraordinary inheritance. The people of Mojokerto continue protecting it with pride. Now the responsibility belongs to all of us, to learn from it, to respect it, to preserve it, and to share it with the world. Because every generation inherits two things: the future we will create and the history we choose to protect. Mojokerto has already protected its history. Now it is waiting for the world to discover it. So the next time someone asks you where the spirit of Indonesia's greatest civilization still lives, you will know exactly what to say. It lives in the ancient red bricks of Trowulan. It lives in the remarkable discoveries beneath its soil. It lives in the warmth of its people. It lives in the flavors of its traditional cuisine. It lives in the creativity of its artisans. It lives in the cool mountain air of Trawas and Pacet. It lives in every child learning about Majapahit. It lives in every traveler who leaves inspired. And above all, it lives in Mojokerto, not simply as a memory, not simply as history, but as a living legacy that continues to shape Indonesia's identity and inspire the world. So when you finally arrive here, do not just visit. Listen, observe, learn, respect, and allow yourself to become part of a story that began centuries ago and is still being written today. Because the greatest journeys are never measured by the distance you travel. They are measured by how deeply they change the way you see the world. And if there is one place in Indonesia capable of doing exactly that, it is Mojokerto, the eternal heart of Majapahit, the guardian of an extraordinary civilization, and a timeless reminder that while kingdoms may rise and fall, the legacy of a people who believed in greatness can inspire humanity forever.